Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, what time it is, wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you are in. Nice to have you on board again today for a short update on the goings on down under, of course, and in particular at the United Cup, where you may have noticed from the headline that basically the main thing is that Cam Norrie beat Rafa Nadal at last for many. In fact, at last getting a set. He obviously lost the first set, but then came back to win. But perhaps the real headlines do belong to the Spaniard, who's lost again. I even tweeted earlier, has Nadal won today? No, because he's just losing all the time. There will come a point when it does become a concern. I think it perhaps already has. But listen, regarding Norrie in that match, but also Katie Swan winning her match, meaning that Great Britain have taken a 2-0 lead over Spain on day 3 of the United Cup. Team GB now are just one win away, of course, from sealing the group. Because they just need to get 3 to beat Spain, and therefore will have an unassailable lead in that tie. And they've already beaten Australia 3-2. So trouble for Spain, and good news for Team GB, as topping the group means they will be guaranteed a place in the City final, as it's called, and Spain will be out, and there will be no more matches, I guess, for the likes of Rafa Nadal and Badosa ahead of the Australian Open, with it still 2.5 weeks away. Anyway, Nadal has got at least one more match on the horizon because he'll be playing De Minaur in a day or two in that group as they play off for the wooden spoon, I guess, in that group, because Team GB obviously will have sealed it if they are to secure one more win. Anyway, regarding Norrie and that match today, Norrie never even won a set, as I said before, in the previous 4 meetings against Nadal. And today, of course, he took 2, meaning he got his first victory. But he did have to turn the tables. He had to come from behind, of course. He lost the first set 6-3, as we can see on the screen there. But he overcame the 36-year-old by winning the next 2 sets 6-3 and 6-4. It's a statement win for both Norrie and Great Britain in particular. The roof, by the way, was on, I believe, at Ken Roswell Arena. It certainly was earlier on the day because there'd been some drizzle, and we know how much Nadal loves the roof. Just a quick quote, though, from Norrie. It was a great match. At the beginning of the match, he was winning some of the tricky points, him coming to the net and drop shotting me. I managed to stay tough in the long rallies and embrace the situations. I think by ranking, it is the biggest win of my career. Very interesting point there. I know Vanch was saying something similar. Is it time to press the panic button for Rafa Nadal? Hi, Gene. Nice to have you on board. Very impressive, Jared. Yes, I would agree. Let's start with just quickly on Norrie. I think there were not so many unforced errors in the second and third set. No, I think it's because of I think, Gene, we had this discussion already. I believe it's not indoors. At least the website says it's not. It just has a retractable roof, which is covered when there is rain. Yesterday, there was rain, so it comes on. At least that is how I understand it, and that is what the website says. What can we say? Listen, but I don't want to get bogged down in that. It was very impressive, I agree, Gene, from Cam Norrie. But listen, what do Francis Tiafoe, Tommy Paul, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Taylor Fritz, and Cam Norrie have in common? They have all beaten Rafa Nadal in the last few weeks. The only person who hasn't beaten him is Casper Ruud, and we know how that often pans out. According to Jared, it is time to press the panic button. Let's have a quick look at this. Oh, hello, Ghosty, back again. Imagine if Norrie performed better at the net. Rafa might have taken an even bigger beating. Yeah, indeed. Yes, it is time to press the panic button, at least as far as hard courts go. He's lost 5 of his last 6 matches. Exactly, Jared. That's my point. In general, though, Gene takes a different viewpoint, saying it's not time to worry yet. Listen, I think, but none of those, it's not like he's lost to Djokovic. It's not like he's lost to Medvedev on a hard court. who else would, I guess, Alcaraz, of course. So there were tough assignments to come, in my opinion. Um, Listen, well, there's a few other stats. I mean, he hadn't lost, I think, 4 matches in a row in about 15 years. He hadn't gone out in the first, so he hadn't gone out before a quarterfinal at a major in 5.5 years. These are all unwanted stats. And as a result, I tweeted this earlier, by the way, which was quite simply, I should get up on the screen, just 1 second. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, here we go. Here's my little tweet for you all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like this little gem to come up. Did Nadal win today? No. And basically, you create an account like that, and you're going to be writing no more often than not. Yet it is a warm-up event, but what other events is he going to play? That's it. Anyway, listen, Cam Norrie, excellent win for him. But also, of course, Katie Swan winning her clash as well. Perhaps inspired by by Norrie's efforts. So number 145, Katie Swan, beating Badosa again, of course. Sorry, she beat Diaz. Sorry, my apologies on that. I've been talking about Badosa. I've got Badosa on the brain. So she rallied from a set down to beat Parisas Diaz 3-6, 6-1, 6-2 to tally her first United Cup win. Parisas Diaz came out firing in the first set with her forehand, from what I recall, finding good length and speed on the court. But eventually, Katie Swan coming back. What about Tim Henman? Do we think he's doing a good job? I guess the results would suggest he is, but we'll see how this pans out. Of course, there are more matches to come. So, yeah, good result for Great Britain. And, of course, they need just one more win to seal it. But, of course, now we've got Badosa and Pablo Carreño Busta. Perhaps they will try and level the tie. Badosa will play Harriet Dart, of course, and looking to avenge her defeat at the Billie Jean King Cup. So no guarantees there. Carreño Busta will play Daniel Evans. That'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. So there's no guarantees. And if Spain were to go out in the group stage, that would be pretty sensational, I would suggest. But listen, if Spain win both of those ties, it'll come down to the mixed doubles. I would be pretty sure that Rafa will play that mixed doubles, just because there might be no more tennis for the boy. It just goes to show. Harriet Dart is playing tomorrow, Jean, against Paula Badosa. But no, she didn't. It goes to you. I got my Badosas and my other Spanish players muddled up there, so I apologize for that. But listen, this is just the folly of playing this tournament ahead of the Australian Open. I just don't understand anything about this tournament. I don't understand why any players would be there. We know what all the players are in Adelaide. That's where the winner of the Australian Open, here we go, is in Adelaide right now. There we go. No shock there. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. Okay, listen, I've been talking a lot about the Spain-Britain clash, and of course that was dominating the headlines, but there were other matches. I saw, by the way, a really good match, although it was straight sets. I really enjoyed the second set between Buskova and Niemeyer, with Buskova prevailing there in straight sets. I thought that was a really exciting second set. I did manage to see most of that. Yeah, Nadal should have played Adelaide. I mean, everyone should be in Adelaide, basically, if you want to win the Australian Open. It's just silly. Okay, yeah. So, by the way, I saw this. Yeah, I saw the second set at least, and bits of the first. Niemeyer was pretty much out of her depth for large parts of the match, but actually, the last few games were quite exciting. In fact, Buskova was serving for it, but didn't manage to seal it. But I think a lot of credit needs to go to her opponent for that. But Zverev, of course, losing in straight sets as well. Should we be concerned there? Of course, he's coming back from an injury. Can we expect big things from Zverev in Melbourne, or perhaps just a couple of wins would mean a good tournament for the German? Brazil taking a decent lead against Norway, of course, in the same group as Italy. So it'll be unlikely that either of those two countries will prevail, despite Casper Ruud still to play. Bulgaria and Belgium finally poised at 1-1, but obviously with Greece having a 4-1 win in the first group match, mean it's going to be tough for either of those to come through, as we can see here. Greece prevailing the day before against Bulgaria 4-1. 1. Final one to touch on is Croatia having a commanding lead, thanks to Borna Coric and Vekic as well, both winning in straight sets, putting themselves in a commanding position in that group. Skatov, though, by the way, leveling things up for Kazakhstan against Poland. That's a must-win tie, really, for Poland, I would suggest. Otherwise, they could also be among the shocks of going out. Swiatek doing her usual thing, getting a bagel in the first set and then winning the second set 6-3. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the live chat, and then we'll have to be bringing this to an end. How are these draws determined, etc.? I have no idea how the draws are determined. It's all a bit cloak and daggers, but that's typical, seems to me, of this tournament. What I would say, Ghosty, is that the winner of each group, so we have 6 groups altogether across 3 different cities, the winner of each group will play off. And therefore, you will have 6 countries in the next stage. And therefore, you will have 3 winners going through to the semi-finals. But there will be a country that loses, but has the best record in that defeat and will join the other 3 countries in the semi-finals, which I believe is taking place in Sydney, and then on into the final itself. Do we follow? 18 into 6, winner of each group. The 6 play each other in their respective cities. 3 obviously emerge to go into the semi-finals, but the best loser will join them in Sydney for 4 countries in the semi-finals in the coming days. Lehetska's a solid player, fair enough. And a happy and prosperous new year to you as well, Debanger. Nice to have you on board. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Stuff will be coming thick and fast in the next 5 weeks. So make sure you get on board. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the live shows we do, such as this one, but also some of our watch alongs. Anyway, Greece and Poland are much fancied as well. I understand that. Any final thoughts? Well, more tennis to look forward to, of course, later on today. If we have a quick look at the schedule, let's get that up on the screen for us to see what's happening later on this evening if you're in Europe, or in the morning if you're in Australia, New Zealand, etc. We've got Germany, of course, trying to fight their way back in that tie tomorrow. We'll have a quick look at this here. So yeah, we've got Germany trying to find their way back, but it'll be tough for Siegmund and Otter, particularly Siegmund, I would suggest, against Kvitova. We'll see how that pans out. I saw Buskova in her interview afterwards, and she was asked, will you all be on the champagne tonight? And she was like, well, I'm not sure, because a couple of our players will be playing tomorrow. And she said maybe the coaches will be on the champers tonight, as it's obviously, well, actually, it's already past midnight in Australia. So Happy New Year if you are in Australia and tuning in. I have no idea what you'd be doing tuning into Talking Tennis. You should be out there partying or sleeping or whatever. But anyway, if you are here, great. And cheers. And of course, that may come down to the doubles. Should Siegmund and Otter win both of those matches, making it 2-2, that could come down to this doubles match off, which will be the third tie of the day, or the third match of the day, I should say. But this is really the intriguing group that we're all talking about. So it looks like Nadal will be playing doubles with Paula Badosa there. But of course, that could be all done. If Harriet Dart continues her form from Billie Jean King Cup, Spain will be out. And Nadal's match against de Minaur will be nothing more than a friendly exhibition, if you like. Carreño Busta there playing Dan Evans. In that match, hopefully for Spain's point of view, there'll be something riding on that, and then you'll have the doubles. And if Carreño Busta does win, it'll be all about that final doubles match. I think Badosa might well avenge that defeat, and therefore things will come interesting. And maybe Carreño Busta will win too, and it may well come down to that, and that could be pretty exciting. Over on the other side, of course, we've got Belgium and Bulgaria as well in action today, with Mertens against Tomova on the horizon, amongst others. That one, of course, is finally poised, as I said. Croatia in a very, very good position, with Martic kicking things off for Croatia there in Perth. And in Brisbane, we have Brazil and Norway continuing, and Poland and Kazakhstan also continuing. Hurkacz Bublik. Bublik could win that, could do, and then that would put Poland in a bit of trouble. But you'd imagine overall Poland will emerge with the victory in that tie. Brazil in a good position against Norway, but you'd expect Rue to get things going for the Norwegians in that first match in Brisbane. Okay, listen, tennis world. Thank you all for stopping by today. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, get your comments in the section below. If you're watching retrospectively, get your comments in the section below. Follow us on Twitter, by the way, at Talking Tennis TT. Make sure you check out the links below the video as well for all of our socials, etc. Ghosty, it's been great having you back on board. I've been wondering where you've been, but it's great to see you back again in the last 24 hours or so. Gene as well, nice to have you on board as well, and all the others that have joined us, Jared as well. Who else have we had? Demangia, Happy New Year to you. So great as well. And Cordy as well. Great to see you on board as well. Thank you very much. And Happy New Year to you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.